Hey, Rat Pack. Editor Matt here? That doesn't seem right. The episode hasn't even started yet. Well, here's what happened. Basically, Tyler took us down this whole Iran war bit, and in the midst of us recording, there was actually a ceasefire called, and so it kind of dated itself immediately. So that's what happens when we try to meddle in international politics. It won't happen again, but I will say Tyler did have a great impression that he does to start out the episode, and that's where we're going to kick it to first, and we'll just go from there, and we'll just cut out all the other stuff that started the episode. So thanks for listening, and we'll see you soon. Hit it, Matt and Tyler.
Yeah, we used some bunker busters. Bunker buster, I hardly know her.
Dude, you've been working on that accent
I've
all
been
week.
working on that.
You knew this was the week to pull it out.
I knew it was coming, and you know what else is coming? Hit it, Hutch.
You know what it is now, boys and girls of the podcast world. Matt and Tyler on the mics. They're gonna stay here until they agree. They're gonna stay here until they agree. Oh, thank you for listening. This show's called Until We Agree. Oh, thank you for listening.
One thing.
Oh, sorry.
Oh yeah.
Oh, we have to
funny,
laugh
man.
it in, yeah.
Yeah, it's fading. One thing we know about Hutch. Welcome back to Until We Agree. This is Matt, joined as always by my co-host Tyler from Until We Agree. This is Until We Agree, the only podcast that keeps going until we agree. Welcome back. The one thing we know about Hutch is Hutch is part of the big war machine. And so he loves having his music kind of sandwiched around political speak.
Yeah, and what I've heard is when those B-2 bombers were taking off, wishful thinking by Hutch was just blasting in every single one. And I don't know why, but I mean, I think it's just a hopeful note that they wanted to lift off of. So 36 hours later, it was still playing. Just
Yeah, either way, dude, big year for Spotify, for Hutch on Spotify Wrapped. I can feel it coming. You met Donald Trump's, Hutch's number one on Donald Trump's Wrapped for the year.
Wishful thinking. It's a wonderful song.
Oh, it is, Don. That's the thing, is I know we like to have fun here, but it really is. But anyways. Oh, Robert, what are you doing here?
I kind of like it too.
Dude, Robert.
I got to stop, man.
No, I have more questions for Robert. So you keep doing
you
it.
do.
What's up with red dyes these days, Robert? Good? Did you say good?
Yeah, I think I'm just like gonna devolve that impression into just doing that noise. That way, I don't have to like say words
You don't have
anymore.
to-
I think
you
it
don't
hurts
have
my
to.
throat a lot.
Yeah, sure, man. All right. Well, as we said, this is Until We Agree. This episode, we're done talking about the war in Iran. We don't really know what's going on over there, but we're just hoping for the best for everyone. So, what was that?
No, we are. I'm not laughing at the hope. It's just like it seems grim, but I think things are gonna go well.
I mean, they're gonna go somewhere. And where this episode is going is I want to talk about something that you did that made you a bad friend this week, if I may.
Okay. I'm actually not sure what this could be.
Okay, are you seeing the agenda? It says movie friends.
Yeah, and I don't know what that like what I could have done.
Okay, so you watched a movie this week, right?
Yeah.
And you also live far away from me.
Right. Okay. Two things that are facts. These are true.
Yeah, this is kind of a good lead into the rest of the episode because we're talking about relationships. That's the main crux of this episode. I'm sure if you clicked on, the title will be clickbaited around dating advice because that's what we're giving here eventually. But it started off on Tyler took us down a weird warmongering route that I wasn't expecting. That was that was Don.
That was someone else, yeah.
But what I was thinking about that kind of led me down that path of like relationship advice of like long distance relationships is that me and you are kind of in a way going through a long distance relationship right now. Would you agree with that?
In a way, you could say that for sure.
Sure. And some ways that we had to stay connected more than we used to because we used to see each other multiple times a week. You would come to my mom's house with me and you would say no to her fresh home cooked meal every time, which we've talked about before, which was pretty rude and embarrassing for you, which is shameful.
No, it was gate kept from me by
It was
you.
not. It was gate kept when you would come over around dinner time every night and not eat dinner. Yeah, and offer dinner every time. That seems like no, you're right. You're actually right. No, that was a me thing. That was a me thing that stopped you from doing that. Even though I said, bro, you're welcome to stay, and then you would say, nah, man, because I know you're just afraid of it. And we'll get into why you're afraid of food here in a second too. This is a great episode. Welcome back. We're glad to have you. What was I even talking about? Yeah, so
Something about
today,
being mad at me.
yeah, because me and you, to stay connected, we have to live in a more digitized age than we used to. Even during COVID, we had like one Zoom session, and then we were like, bro, we're 5 minutes apart. Let's just be boys together. And so
Right.
even at the peak of COVID, where people were confused still, not even the part where people were just like anti-vax, they were just like kind of confused still. Everyone was a little bit confused.
I think
we were
it
ignoring
took
protocols.
a good 9 to 12 months for everybody to be not confused.
Yeah, and this was like month like 1.5. Like this was early
Right.
on,
It
and
was early.
yeah, and so we did like one Zoom call, then we just were boys again, and so we removed ourselves from the digital age. But then you, I guess I moved away first, and that more digitized our lives. But we were still driving distance, and so we would still see each other a couple times a year. And then you moved way away, and some would argue flight distance away. And I flown there once, and that was a great time. I was ready to leave well before my flight home came up, but that's neither here nor there.
That's
for
the
this
story of vacation, though. That doesn't have anything to do with where I
That
live or
was-
where you live.
it wasn't
That's
a
just the
use-
story
Yeah.
of that's the story of travel.
Yeah, I guess, man. No, I didn't want to leave, man. I was having so much fun. But all that
Where is
being
this
said,
going?
we live in a digitized age. Would you agree?
Yes, we live in a
War
digitized
is
age.
done with computers, AI.
Okay.
People aren't even who even is to say that there were people in the B-2 bombers? I don't know. I wasn't there. All that being said, me and you, digitized age. That's where I was going with this. Are you following?
I honestly, you've made it so like painstakingly easy to follow.
Okay, so thank you. What I'm gonna say now is, I love movies, right? That's like my
Yes.
whole personality
Yes.
for the last like month, especially, is kind
Yeah,
of
you love movies.
I'm the movie guy now, and I've always
You're
loved
the movie
movies.
guy.
I've loved rom-coms forever, and Band Slam and Euro Trip.
Slam,
I've loved
Euro
Euro
Trip.
Trip, and
Rest in peace.
yeah, true, man. It's sad, but all that being said, I love movies, and we live in a digitized age where me and you have to share.
These
exist
things
in
are
a-
all true.
in a long distance relationship online, and you sent me a picture on Saturday. Was it Saturday? Of you watching
Yes.
a movie, and it looked like a great movie. You informed me that it was a Tarantino flick, which is great. Haven't seen a
Yes.
Tarantino movie before, and I was excited to see
What?
hear what your
You haven't
thoughts
seen
were.
any?
Bro, I'm new to the whole good movie thing. You know that about me. And so I haven't seen any. And he's definitely the path I want to go down. I probably will. But that's not the point. The point is that we live in a digitized age. True or false?
True.
This relationship is in a digitized state right now, more than it used to be for sure.
True.
So when you send me a picture, the movie guy of the Until We Agree podcast, and you send me a
Yes.
picture of you watching a movie, and I say, dude, that looks great. I can just tell that's a good movie. And you said, dude, it's Tarantino or something along those lines. And then I say, I can't wait to see the L Box review of what you think about this movie.
Right,
And of course,
yes.
L Box is Letterboxd,
Letterboxd.
which is maybe my favorite app on my phone right now, besides the Spotify
Okay.
for Podcasters app, so I can engage with the Rat Pack, which is the highlight of my week every moment I get to do it.
Okay.
And I noticed you didn't review the film, even though I made it so clear I wanted to see.
Oh, somebody just lied.
What do you mean?
I did review the film.
When?
I can't tell you. Why don't you go check the review that
I've been
I
looking-
left.
Oh, 3 minutes ago.
No,
Oh,
wait.
3 minutes ago. Oh, wait, I've seen this movie
While you were rambling, I did figure out what you were going to say, and I went ahead and jumped the gun on it.
Yeah.
So why don't you read that review?
Okay, so this is the Inglorious Redacted, or
Right. Yeah, we can't. We're not allowed to say that. We will get our funding yanked.
yeah, and so five stars, which is impressive, and this is great. I love getting to read this now. You said more like glorious Brad Pitt, handsome guy. Could have used tiny Matt Damon though. That's
Right.
awesome.
Yeah.
That's a great movie, and I have seen this movie now that I know what the movie is.
Flick.
I've seen the Tarantino flick, but this was a long time ago, and I remember liking it as well. All that being said is, bro, why, when you knew I wanted to read your Letterboxd review days ago when you watched
just
this
read
movie,
it. You just read it.
that's fine. But can I tell you, I've been a little bit down the last couple of days because of this.
Why? Because of that.
Because have I mentioned that we live in a digitized age? Have I mentioned that yet? So
No,
I can
you
only
have.
our
You have.
relationship has to exist through the
Oh.
vicarious nature of cell phones and the World Wide Web.
Oh, I'm sorry. So here's the thing. I was going to say this till later, but
No, let it air it out.
here's the thing.
Rat.
I've been busy because the Rat Pack
Oh,
voted
because-
on what book I should read, and they
Oh,
voted for East of
sick,
Eden.
man.
It's
Yeah.
720 pages. It's from
Yeah.
1952. There's all kinds of words in there I've had to look up. There's all kinds of tiny texts in there that are called words, and they're all single spaced. And I've been reading it. I'm on page 550. There's 170 pages left. I'm gonna finish tomorrow. But like, I've been busy. Okay, I took a quick break to watch a Tarantino flick, as you saw from the cinematography, one I hadn't seen before. And I saw Christoph Waltz. I saw Brad Pitt. Brad Pitt's from Maynardville, Tennessee in that movie, by the way. I saw BJ Novak, who is just like the most unconvincing soldier in the whole movie. I saw multiple other actors of various languages because they were French and Austrian and German. And I forgot where I was going to, but I'm sorry.
Is that you're done?
That was an apology. No, that was an apology for not putting the Letterboxd review up earlier.
Oh. Well, you are forgiven, but can I
Oh.
say how you're not forgiven though? Who you should be apologizing to now also? And I all I wanted to say was
Tarantino?
I wish
Oh.
that me and you could still be the friends we used to be, even though we live in a digitized age, and that is
Well,
what it
you've
is.
changed, and and that's okay.
I would like you to apologize to
I'm sorry, who?
Mother Earth,
For what?
because you wanted to defame me last week, if you recall.
No.
You said that my relationship with CDog, which is ChatGPT, is bad for the
Toxic
environment.
and mostly
So-
weird though. Mostly weird. Bad for the environment for sure, but weird for like even more so.
So that's all fine and dandy. Here's what I just learned though. Reading one, I asked a question.
Oh,
I
here
asked
we
a
go.
question to CDog. I said, "What's worse for the environment? Reading a 700-page book or a single message to you, my boy, CDog?" And he said,
But wait, we're really gonna pretend like you've just sent one single message?
"And you've read one single book? You've read a lot of books, so no, frick you, man." And so let's see. Physical 700-page book can cause somewhere between 2 to 5 kilograms of CO2 emissions, depending on how the book is made and shipped, because of all the paper that's already going into the book alone.
A lot of variables. it seems like.
While we think about an answer on ChatGPT, very tiny. Oh, very tiny, very tiny. 0.001 to 0.01 grams of CO2 per query. So actually, I could query thousands of times before I even match the unethical nature of the way you take in cinema. What is it? What is a book?
Books, literature.
Literature.
You almost said literature. That's great.
So
I think here's the thing. I think it might be worth it. I think we all collectively, all the Rat Pack, even the world, would be grateful if you would pick up a book and just educate yourself just a little bit.
So in
Because-
short, ChatGPT CDog said,
Okay.
one message to CDog, basically nothing. A 700-page book, that poor tree worked hard.
right, and it was
That poor
worth
tree worked hard.
It was worth every year that it grew and produced another ring.
Yeah, you would say that. You would say that.
Because
No,
now
that
I'm
sounds
speaking. I'm
like you.
speaking in ways in which the audience can understand. I'm using similes. I'm using adverbs. I'm using
Bro,
adjectives.
point out, where was the simile in that?
I'm using gerunds,
Where?
participles, past, present, and future.
Tell me what a gerund is right now.
I'd rather not because
Yeah.
there's a no, and I know this, but I really think you should pick up a book and learn for yourself, because that's how I did it.
Bro, I'm telling you right now, I've read Harry Potter. I'm fine.
Well, then you will know that a gerund is a form that is derived from a verb, but that functions as a noun.
As a noun. Yeah,
Right.
that's what I just said it too, bro. So, yeah. I
In
knew that.
English, like ending in ing,
Sure.
asking, like
Yeah.
asking would be one.
Would
Yeah.
be one. Yeah, I know. I get that. I totally get that. So, all that being said, I would
Gerund
like.
just sounds like a bad name. Oh, is this thing on? Nice.
Man, that's
We're back.
dynamite. Yeah, we're back. Welcome back to Until We Agree. I have a debate for us. I don't know how I want to get into the dating advice more, and so maybe we hold on to this, or we hold on to this debate. That'll make sense once you hear the debate later on. But I want to jump into Q&A early at the 15-minute mark, give or take a few seconds, depending on where the edit falls.
Are you serious right now?
That doesn't seem right. You're telling me that if you leave a question on Spotify in the comment section, or you leave a comment on Instagram or TikTok or YouTube or Apple Podcasts where you can get your question featured live on air for the Until We Agree Rat Pack boys to talk about. Shout out to web browser women, by the way. We're talking about the World Wide Web today. They're still crushing it. You can ask a question to be on the podcast. And we might do it early in the episode for once, like this. So why don't you do it for us?
All right. Kim asks, which would you rather give up, sauce or kissing?
Now tell me which one you would do.
Okay. I mean, anybody who knows me, like, this is the easiest answer of all time.
Mm-hmm.
I don't eat sauce, like, ever.
Yeah, but
capacity.
you've also never kissed someone before. So you've had sauce before.
It's true, but that's only because one time when we were at the beach together and I caught you looking up how to kiss bro. I don't know why you would Google that.
Don't tell people. No, don't talk about that.
Bro,
That wasn't a
so you didn't get to learn this.
It doesn't matter. Okay, it doesn't matter if you caught me or not. That wasn't a thing to share on the podcast. That was a me and you thing.
But we can cut it out.
All right. It's definitely cut out. So,
but yeah,
you've had sauce before, but okay.
I mean, I've had sauce. What does that mean, though? Like,
can I put you onto this for a second? Can I put you onto this for a second? You love pizza,
okay.
Pizza sauce,
right?
We're not talking about like ketchup and honey mustard. There's other sauces that you do partake in, and I think you're fond of. They're more fundamental sauces rather than condimental sauces.
Right, and I do love pizza. That's true. But you might have just done something. Marinara sauce is pretty good.
Yeah, you make homemade pizzas sometimes. I've had it. It's good.
But that's the thing for one sauce, you know.
Yeah, but you're also just one type of. You're just one other action, which is kissing.
Bro, we can't. That's gross. You can't say that.
Well, I'm married. I'm allowed to talk about it.
Oh.
I had my first kiss on my wedding day, and it was fantastic.
I watched it.
Yeah, that was the one part I didn't like, is everyone watching, except for
everybody was watching.
Yeah, even like my parents, which felt wrong, but
they were. And
yeah, I don't know. I think you could live. That's a long time to not. Yeah, I don't. It definitely takes us down a place that we're not comfortable with.
We're uncomfortable with food, and we're uncomfortable with kissing.
Yeah, this question's really not in our sweet spot.
Too much mouth action here,
yeah,
Kim.
Yeah, it really is. It's a lot. That's probably the direction she went down was mouth action. Kim's engaged though, so shout out Kim. I don't know what that means for her in regards to this question, but
I think we've known that a while though.
Yeah, I'm sure we've talked about it before too on the pod. But all that being said, Kim, thank you for the question. We can't wait to talk about next week's question. If you want to ramp it up to make us even more uncomfortable, that's fine. We'll do what we got to do. But I want to talk to you because I think people look to us. One of our most viewed episodes was our ladies dating night episode,
right?
Where we were giving advice to our callers in who need our help. The great advice. Buffalo Legs made her first appearance that night. Katie, who then we had to save her marriage later on in the year, made her first appearance that night. So that was a landmark episode for us, and we learned a lot about the fact that this podcast can be used for good. I think that's what I took away, at least. And I don't want to waste people's time not giving them what they need, which is dating advice. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, I think it's been too long. People are starving for it. And if we have the food and there are starving people out there, it would be disgusting for us to hoard it.
Right. Sauce or not, Sauce
or not. Kiss or not.
It's so true. I want to talk to you, and I talked about this a little bit, how this is going to feed into the rest of the episode. Relationships. I want you to give your advice because you and I, at one point, have both done a long distance relationship to varying levels of success.
Right.
True. And I would argue yours was probably more successful than my encounter with long distance relationships.
Probably is an interesting word to use there.
Because you're still together.
Right.
And have been for years.
And you're married to a completely different person.
Who I never went long distance with, yes.
Right.
That's why I want to come to you, because I think this is something that people...
I'm going to say it. Can I say it?
Permitted, yes.
A better person.
Who are
Shout
you
out to
talking-
Broccoli.
Compared to who? Shout him out. Okay, so Tyler and I had to get
Way to get personal there.
we had to get aligned on who we're talking about on the varying levels of success on these relationships.
And we do not like her.
We know who Tyler is still with his girlfriend, who we talk about probably monthly at this point. She listens to the pod. Yeah, shout out.
Sometimes.
And yeah, she'll listen to this episode in a year and a half, I think, by the way she listens to it. So you guys were long distance for quite some time, and as someone who did long distance for maybe 4 months, I'd say 4 months one time, it ended horribly, quite horribly for me, pretty much in the worst way it could end. You know, if you do with that what you will. I think I'm not alone in experiencing something like that. And there might be people out there who are listening right now who are in active long distance relationships. So can you enlighten the Rat Pack, enlighten anyone who will come across this on how you pulled it off for what, years? It was years.
Yes, years. Well, first and foremost, you set me up for failure here because I didn't know this was coming. So I didn't have time to prepare.
Bro, if I'm being honest, it's on the agenda right now. Long distance tips.
Right, and you put this in 22 minutes ago, and we've been doing this episode for 21 minutes and 47 seconds. So, here's what I'll do. I'm going to ask Sea-Dog for some long distance tips.
Bro, you don't need to ask Sea-Dog. You've lived this. What did you do to make it successful? What are you talking about?
Nothing
not
special
remember?
was done. Nothing special was done though. We took monthly trips to one or the other. And most importantly,
bro, that's great. Can I just say that's good advice? You just said something that was great advice.
I have better advice though. Most importantly, starting because we know some people that have done this and it doesn't seem to work out at a high percentage. Starting a relationship is long distance. It's just not a good way to work. I'm sure it can work. I'm sure there's people out there that's worked.
Mm-hmm.
But we also we knew each other for 2.5 years before it was long distance. So it was
yeah,
it's a completely different beast, if you will.
It was the cutest thing. The first time I learned about have we said her name, Alicia? Have we said her name? Yeah, we'll say her name.
We'll say her name, but I'm not sure if we have.
So the first time I learned about Alicia, Tyler and I had just become friends. I'm giving you time to think about more stuff that you want to say. And what happened was Tyler and I we know each other, obviously. You guys know the story of us. We've talked about it. If not, go back and find those episodes. They're like the 10th through the 12th episodes of this podcast. So go back and listen. But essentially, Tyler and I knew each other for a long time. Didn't really like each other. Tyler was quite fond of me, from what I understand. I wasn't quite fond of him for quite some time. And what was that? Okay. Indifferent, maybe, for the most part. But eventually, Tyler and I became fast friends because we actually bonded over so many things that we've been through together and separate in life that we had similarities in. And so we were but that being said, Tyler and I had different friend groups, core friend groups in college, which is what it is. It wasn't we had already kind of been, by the time me and Tyler became good friends, we were on different paths socially in college. Does that make sense? And so we were both in the School of Business. Shout out to School of Business, Haslam School of Business, go Vols. And we were in a giant marketing class. It was like the intro to marketing class that all business students have to take. And
650 people.
Yeah, huge. And it's like every single student who has ever gone to UT in the last 40 years who has majored in business has had this guy as their marketing professor, basically. And so we go with the biggest auditorium, and we sit there and we do clicker questions and take notes while he would walk around the seats. He wouldn't be on the stage. He would walk around and talk to you. It was interesting. But Tyler and I, who are now great friends at this point, he texts me and says, well, at some point I knew that you maybe a week before you had told me that you had started dating this girl.
Yes.
And so I was sitting, for better or for worse, my friend group that I had kind of latched onto in the business school, because I had friends outside the business school that were in the group, but the ones who were in the business college, they would sit front row for every class. I didn't like it, but they were really
right nerds.
They were nerds. They worked really hard, and I got to kind of feed off of that because I didn't. Right. It was business school, summa cum laude.
Business school.
It was business school, summa cum laude. I didn't really have to work that hard, but they worked hard for me for the stuff I didn't want to do, like answer clicker questions correctly. So it was a very mutually beneficial relationship for us, where I got to give them my time and they got to give me their answers to work.
That makes you sound, by the way, insane. But good.
Almost insufferable to a degree.
Yeah.
It's not true. It's not
My
true.
presence was gifted to those around me in exchange for good grades.
So, no, I'm just joking though. I did appreciate that they try hard. I just wish that we sat a little bit further back. But in this class, since it was huge, there were other nerds who would also sit on the front row, and we weren't trying that hard. So we were sitting like row 2 or 3 typically. And we sat in the middle, you sat on the right side looking at the stage, probably 12 to 15 rows back on average. And you text me, bro.
Yeah.
Bro, you text me and you say,
okay.
I'm looking down.
This.
Yeah, this is the first time I saw Alicia. I'm looking down. You said, bro, do you want to see her? And I literally go, yes. And you go, dude, turn around. She's sitting right next to me. So I literally stand up because it's before classes started. I stand up and look and I find you and I'm like, dude, there she is. That's who you're dating now. And now I can't imagine our life without her. You know, it's weird, but it's one day this person doesn't exist to me, and then the next day they're in my life. They're at my wedding. She was sitting 2 chairs away from me at dinner the night I got married. Isn't that weird,
crazy.
Man? It's weird to think about stuff like that.
We were all sitting in marketing, and then we're sitting at your wedding. Whoa.
Dude,
think about that for a second.
I just got goosebumps. I hope the Rat Pack did too. It's
did
crazy
you know,
how people come into your life. Yeah, go ahead.
So you said that. Did you know that phrase? I'm pretty sure it comes from, like, you would say that if you have goosebumps, before they were called goosebumps, you would say the goose walked over your grave.
What? What does that even mean?
I don't know, but it's in the book that I'm reading, and I think that's where that comes from.
No way, man! Everything's full circle right now. That's crazy. That actually is. When you think about it, we're talking about full circle stuff, and then we get a full circle moment in that. Ridiculous. Anyways, you guys met in college, and college is a great time to meet someone because you're in close proximity and you're with your friends and get to just be chill all the time. So you guys had a great foundation, which you're right, is super important. But what happened? Like, what else would you say was successful besides taking the trips and having a strong foundation before it all kicked off?
Oh, that's a great question. Well, I think I tried to live by 10 key tenets.
You have to. Oh no. Okay.
One would be to communicate
dude, I know
effectively.
Sea-Dog. I can smell him from a mile away.
2 would be to create a routine. 3 would be to set goals together. 4 would be stay honest and open. 5 would be creative with connection. 6 would be maintain independence. 7 would be make visits count. 8 would be celebrate milestones. 9, avoid comparisons. And 10 would be sacrifice. Oh, wait. That's weird. That says sacrifice lambs weekly?
This is just from your brain, right? What are you talking about? It says this.
Oh, right. I'm sorry.
What do you
in my memory.
What do you mean by that? Yeah, what do you mean by that?
I have a photographic memory, and in my memory, it's sacrifice lamb. We would sacrifice lambs weekly, in hopes that no, it is fine because lambs are food, and we would do that in hopes to maintain a strong bond, and it's something you can bond over. It's like an activity, like you know how you cook together. It's like you sacrifice lambs
it's
together.
like how you cook together. You make sacrifices together too. Sacrificing a lamb weekly.
Yeah, you draw shapes with the blood on your foreheads. And just the things you do.
Yeah, you summon demons from the sidewalk. Yeah, just like normal everyday things. The one I think that I don't want to give you too much credit because everyone should know how I feel about you at this point in the podcast. You guys did a great job of maintaining your independence. There was a stretch of time where I was afraid to ask if you guys were even still together because you didn't even talk about it for like 3 months when we were hanging out. And I really kind of thought it was over. There was no sign.
Dang.
And to you, it's probably like, oh, life was just going on because that's what we were doing, and we were doing such a great job at it.
We talked every day, like all day through text is the thing. So
yeah, I think
that's crazy.
I think you find
I think
'cause,
that also that comes back to the fact that boys do not talk about anything other than like what we're doing at that very moment.
Mhm.
Because I will often, like after those hangouts we would have, well, Alicia would ask, "Oh, would Matt say?" I'm like, nothing. So
yeah, that's true. Shut it down immediately. There's still so much I don't know about you, and I would love to know about you, but I'm not going to ask because that's not my place. My place is
right.
is to do a weekly podcast with you that goes out to the country of Lebanon mostly, and then
Sure, we're
other nations
just
as
hanging
well.
out here.
This
There's
is
no
just
reason to get. There's no reason to dig deep. It'd be weird.
Yeah,
at this
exactly.
point.
Don't-
We're years in.
yeah. Don't our bond is what it is, and we should not deepen it. I know that for a fact. Okay, my other question about long distance relationships, because here's where I think mine went wrong: is the person I was dating forgot to break up with me before she started dating someone else.
Right.
What are your
This is a unique scenario, right? So
What are your
you're gonna
thoughts
want
on
to do
that as someone
and
who's done it well?
May I ask, how were the lamb sacrifices going up to this point?
But that okay, so that's the thing is when we were living in the same city, it was a lot easier to sacrifice lambs, and maybe the thing is her lambs were unclean.
Unclean lambs.
I can't be for sure
Right.
because
Okay.
again it was over
we can't
it was
be
over
sure.
FaceTime, and so I don't know where she was sourcing her lambs from.
I would guess. No, and I would just guess that once you did go long distance, you stopped sacrificing lambs, and
Mhm.
that probably leads down a thick path of sin that would then that would lead to kissing another man in a parking lot.
Well, it wasn't like I mean it was a yeah, I guess everything you said is totally accurate, but she did tell me so soon after is the thing.
Oh,
So
then all
at
is
that-
forgiven, I suppose.
So is it really her fault? Is it even cheating if you tell me soon after? That's what I want to know. That's really my question for you.
Okay, let's play a little thought experiment.
Okay.
Okay, I'm the dealer, and you're playing blackjack.
Okay.
And so I am going to use let's play a hand, all right?
Okay.
Okay, I just dealt you a 10, and then I dealt you a 8.
Hit.
And then you see, well, wait.
Oh, sorry.
You see for me, I've got a 3 and I've got a 6.
Hit.
I guess you can't see my other card, but either way, hit. Okay, I've got you at 21. Congratulations.
Hit.
No, but then I have got a
Okay.
secret stash of cards. Boom.
Uh-huh.
I also have 21. Oh well, it's a push. You didn't win any money, but then I tell you, hey, I've got a secret stash of cards over here. Do you still feel cheated?
I get my money back though?
You get your money back, but you didn't make any money, and you should have because I cheated.
Yeah, but here's the thing is even if you didn't cheat, you could have gotten a 21, you know? So is that really so bad?
I don't know. I'm lost in my own analogy.
No, it's making perfect
Um,
sense
Oh, I forgot something though. Before you hit, I sacrificed a lamb, and
Okay.
then I gave you the card, and it was a 20, and then I get a 21.
okay, and then also the cards made out in a parking lot
Right.
without
Without
telling
you knowing.
the other guy who had the 20.
Yes. And then
The other guy who had
Then
the
you
20
learned
and
that-
had been in a committed relationship with the other cards for years.
right. And then
Okay.
you learned about it. And then you told me about it later in a parking lot.
There's a lot of parking lots in this is all hypothetical, of course.
Yeah, this is all hypothetical, of course. What was the question? How do we stop that from happening? Or like, is that okay?
Is it just
you were
is it
just
just
trying to
lambs?
justify it, or
No,
I
I'm not
think
trying to
it-
justify it because I think I've come to the realization that she was wrong to do that. Correct?
For sure, yeah. Yeah, no, you can't be just smooching, because I think she's made up her mind. She wants to give up sauces for life.
Yeah.
Call back to
At
the
that
Q&A.
point, it was very clear that the side she was choosing, and it was not ketchup.
Right. It was instead, I was trying to think of a sauce-related pun, but I can't off the tip of my tongue.
No, this is great. You're doing great right now. So
right,
just keep
right. I'm going good.
keep thinking out loud on this one. You'll find something.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't ketchup.
Yeah. Oh,
but
was that
may-
it? Oh,
wait,
sorry.
wait.
Sorry.
Oh, well, you ruined it.
Yeah, I knew,
Sorry,
everyone could
let's
tell
run
that
it
was
back,
going to
let's
be
run it
funny. Yeah. Okay.
Give me a second.
I think you were saying something along the lines of it wasn't ketchup, but
Oh, right.
man.
All right, I was saying it wasn't ketchup, but man is that wrong. Man, is that wrong? That's what I was trying
Man,
to say.
is that wrong? Yeah. No,
Yeah.
that was good, man. That's good advice. That's something I can take away. Another question I have for you. Let's totally pivot. What would you do if you
Typically with
are-
knives. That's how the sacrifices would go down.
Oh, a slit across the throat of the young baby lamb, the spotless lamb.
This fine. Yeah. Okay. Is that what your question was?
No, it was something
Next.
along the lines of like, what do you do when everyone your age is married and you have no prospects? What would you do?
If everyone, okay, this feels mean to somebody that you know personally.
No, it has nothing to do with people I know.
Are you sure?
No, it's just like, I mean, people.
You're not
this might
singling
happen to
anybody
people.
out? Do you know?
No,
Okay.
the people. This might happen to someone that we know, but it's nothing personal.
So what I would say to those people, get off the apps, right?
Okay.
What's on the apps other than sin?
People. Dude, this guy reads one book about Cain and Abel and can't get off of sin. That's crazy. No, I think what's on the apps is I think people are on the apps that you can meet and then marry.
No, I don't know anybody that's had a happy long marriage that's met on the apps.
Oh. Can I tell you something, bro?
Bro, and I know what you're about to say. I said happy and long. I don't think 3 months counts. I'll be honest.
Yeah, but what if, okay, first of all, the apps haven't been around that long, so no one's had a long one yet. I don't think that's fair. That's a fair
I'm
assumption
sorry.
to make.
Is my statement factual?
No, I guess you're right. No, that's fine.
Yeah, so we're going to delete the apps. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to delete the apps. We're going to go outside. We're going to find hobbies that you like, find yourself in those hobbies, and then you'll meet people around you. Unless those hobbies are something nefarious, then you probably don't want those people around you anyways.
What's a nefarious hobby that someone our age could get into?
Sacrificing lambs alone, because if you do it alone, it's kind of weird. Like,
Yeah,
it's more of a couple thing.
You're more of an outcast at that point, yeah.
Right.
Yeah, but then it's like you're also like ruining the experience to get to sacrifice lambs together.
Right, and because you're supposed to carry it, say it with me, you carry the lamb over your head up to the highest peak near you, and
then you
together
take
its life
by slitting
it. Oh,
its
you're still going. Okay.
throat
Upon
the rock
mercilessly.
mercilessly.
Yes.
Yeah. Then that's love.
And so if you do that alone, it's just weird.
It's just weird at that point.
Have you ever heard of an incel?
Hey, Rat Pack, Editor Matt here. One last time to end the episode. Tyler asked that question, and I'm not just cutting it out for no reason. He literally didn't make a point. We talk about it for a few minutes, and I'm listening back, and he never actually talks about why he asked that question. So instead, I'm going to use this time to not waste your time and answer a would you rather from Sea Dog himself. He said, "Would you rather have to fight one horse-sized duck or 100 duck-sized horses?" Give me 100 duck-sized horses. Thanks, Rat Pack. Do we want to do the whole debate? We're at
No.
a certain amount
We'll
of time.
save it for next week.
Yeah, I can promise you, like how this whole podcast started, episode 1, debating whether a bucket is a hole. You're about to get content of that level, if not higher, next week when we talk about the whole debate I have for Tyler. So just be sure to tune in. We want to have you, and we want to have you everywhere where we're at. So Tyler, tell them where they can find us.
Can I say something real quick? This episode doesn't feel real to me yet.
Why is that?
I don't know what's happened. I feel like we've been talking for 5 minutes.
Bro, we've been cooking. This has
We've
just
been
been
cooking.
me and you catching up after a long week talking about the sacrificial lamb.
Sacrificial lambs. And you can find us Instagram at Until We Agree, TikTok at Until We Agree, iHeartRadio. We don't know how, but we're there somewhere.
It's on there.
Apple and Spotify, Until We Agree. Leave us a 5-star. Leave us a comment. And also, most importantly, hit it, Hutch.
We're gonna stay here until they agree. Oh, thank you for listening. This show's called Until We Agree. Oh, thank you for listening.
Okay, so how should we end the episode then?
Wishful thinking this song. And then maybe you could play the song.
I don't think I have the copyrights to it.
Oh, we don't have the copyright. Why don't you do Matt Damon being little and then he's singing Wishful Thinking?
Oh, okay. That's kind of good. All right. let me get some room here. Okay, right now this is what's going to happen. I'm Matt Damon, normal sized for now.
Okay.
And I am singing Wishful Thinking by Hutch Deibler. Check it out on Spotify or wherever you listen to music. It's on there. And I'm in the process of being shrunk down to downsizing size.
By mad
Maybe
scientist.
this is wishful thinking. Why you feeling like we're out of luck? Like we're out of luck! I'm getting so small! What do I do? It hurts! They don't tell you this, but it hurts really bad! Ow! 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 Ow!
Okay.
Ow! It won't stop! I've been small for that minute. Ow! 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 Every step hurts! I don't know how to make it better! There's no small doctors! There's nothing left for me here!
I can help you.
Was that RFK?
Dude, that was RFK. He can help you.